Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another week of Quotables. This week, I am joined, like always, like it's a surprise, with my buddy Ernie. Ernie, what's up?
Surprise! I'm here.
Ah,
All right, and as always, I'm joined by Lex here. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Thank you for coming. You always do. I appreciate
I
it.
always pull through.
I know. How are you?
I'm doing well, dude. I'm chilling. I'm excited to do this movie. It had been a thing that you had been wanting to do since the movie had come out, but I was a little more reluctant because I just saw Free Guy, so that episode's going to come up sometime soon, and we wanted to get that one straight out since we both saw it.
Straight to VOD. Yeah, it should be coming out. Should be coming
Video
out
on
before this
demand.
episode. Today we're doing the Suicide Squad, not to be mistaken with the Suicide Squad, because this one has a "the" in front of it, so it's different. So don't get mixed up. This just came out, the James Gunn film. If you're not familiar with James Gunn's work, he's filmed Slither, Guardians of the Galaxy, just a bunch of other stuff he's had his hands in. He's doing some big things, I think, and yeah, he's a great addition to the DC because he takes advantage of that R rating and knows how to handle his cast and kind of strikes the same magic as Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously in a different tone. What do you think about that?
No, yeah, dude, I agree with you. Very similar in tone. I think with the comedic like approach, but overall, this one is a little bit more, I guess, violent. Right? It was the word, and it does throw you for a loop in certain scenes. Something that like the other movies that James Gunn has done hasn't really kind of like been there with it. I think uh, this movie reminds me of movie 43 a little bit. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
I never saw that one. I
Okay,
heard it was
so
so bad,
one
so
of
I didn't want to watch it. Or
it
it's so
is
bad it's good.
exactly. That's what I was about to say. It's one of those movies you need to watch and get your own reaction because like for other people it's not going to have the same, right? And but like in that movie there's just these moments and scenes which I feel are very in line with the Suicide Squad, where you're just like, oh, you think it's headed down this way, and then he just does like this turn, and you're like, wait, what? Like, what the hell is
You
going
know
on?
what's funny? Now that you mentioned that, I totally forgot. I remember when Guardians of the Galaxy was coming out, and I think it was my brother. He's like, "Oh, I don't know, dude. That he's all the guy. You know who the guy directed it, right?" I'm like, "Who?" He's all, "He made movie 43." I was like, "Oh, what?" I could all,
I know, yeah.
but it ended up being amazing.
That's funny. I never got told anything bad about movie 43. I don't know what it was. It just not to me. I guess no one at like in my circle had said it.
No one has seen
And
it.
yeah, no one had seen it exactly. So I ended up just putting it on one day, bro, and I freaking dude, I was dying, bro. I showed it to my wife and she was laughing at some scenes, but she didn't finish it. So I mean, like definitely worth a watch. I think it's on Netflix if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, great director, great
Maybe
writer.
I'll give
I
it a
love his
check.
work.
Yeah, I love his work too. I did like Guardians of the Galaxy more though, but still, this is totally different. But the Suicide Squad, it's a lot of fun. Terrific cast, very very violent, like we mentioned. He totally just leans into it, uses his classic James Gunn kind of thing, and he also uses his classic actor that he always kind of brings back, Michael Rooker, which which is Savant. I think that's how you say his name.
I think it's
He,
Savant.
yeah, Savant. I think he's shown like he's gonna be like the main guy, right? Like the whole time, like he's the first. He's in the beginning, the very first scene. You see
Yeah.
him. I guess he has like deadly accuracy as his thing. Kills the little canary with the ball.
And
But, like
that's the
whole time,
misdirection, right? That he
exactly. Yeah,
does a lot
yeah,
of.
like you said, like, and then the whole time you're just like, oh yeah, this guy, he's gonna be badass because Michael Rooker, he's just a badass guy as in general. But sadly, that's not true because let's talk about. Well, let's introduce the team. Shall well, not maybe not everyone because in the beginning we're shown
Yeah,
Amanda
let's just talk
Waller,
about
which
the main cast, right?
yeah. Well, we'll talk about the beginning. We'll kind of brush up on him a little bit. Amanda Waller's back, played by Viola Davis, who I never had a problem with. She's really good at this role. She has that commanding presence. She's very serious and straight, and just like Amanda Waller, you'd expect her to be, right?
Yeah, I want to say something about Viola Davis. She's a great actress, dude. I like her in a lot of movies, but there's something about this character when she plays it. I freaking hate her, bro. Like, and I think that's the sign of how good she's doing, right? Like she's a scene stealer. Like when she's there, she demands attention. Like you can tell in every
She's an
scene.
anti-hero just like them, right? I
Exactly.
would say like
In a way, but she's like worse than them, if anything. Like they make you see that.
she's
But
using them for her own good.
gain, right? Yeah, and it's crazy. Like, How many times every time I finish the scene with her, I'm like, God, I hate her, but I'm like, damn, she's good. You know what I mean?
Well, I have a spoiler for you towards the end, but we'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later.
So yeah, we get him, and then we get Rick Flag, which is back for Joel Kinnaman, which I think he does a way better job in this movie than the Suicide Squad. I think it was 2016 they made it. And if you haven't seen the old Suicide Squad, this one does way better justice, I think. But it's weird because a lot of people, I mean, not a lot of people, but some people I've talked to have said they prefer the older one than this one.
And what did they say? They don't. Okay.
Well, there's two people that I talked that mentioned that, and they're over 50. So I don't know. Maybe it's just an older person thing. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that could not hold true. There's some other younger people, I'm sure.
Interesting. I think it might be because of the like we talked about. I think the tone is a lot different. This one is way in its own.
It's like lighthearted a little bit.
Yeah, in its own way, it has a lot more going on than the original one. At least in my mind. I haven't watched Suicide Squad in a very long time, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was great, but I think this one is definitely far superior in terms of story and the cast. And well, I mean, it's the same, some of the same cast, but you know, with the characters and how they kind of perceive every other person that's in the scenes with them.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we get him. He's back. We get another little glimpse of the team. We got Nathan Fillion as TDK. We got a little Weasel, which is played by Sean Gunn, which is James Gunn's brother.
I'm glad that he comes in, dude. I like when Sean Gunn comes out, dude. I don't know.
He's sweet. He comes in again. We got Pete Davidson as Blackguard, and we got a couple of Javelin. This dude, I forget his name, Flora Borg. A whole little Jai Courtney's back again as Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, we got Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn.
Well, I'm just talking about this first little group that we're seeing. Mei Ling and G, I guess her name. She's Mongol, the crazy pink alien girl. But yeah, they all meet up, and yeah, that's when we see Margot Robbie. She's back as Harley Quinn, and probably I think her best Harley Quinn. I think that we've seen. I mean, we've only seen it twice, but I think it's the best. Twice before, and this is the third time, and I think it's her best for sure. And I'll talk about why.
Yeah, I want to just say one thing before we kind of move on from Margot Robbie here. One of the big things I noticed about Margot Robbie, she just like Viola Davis, she kind of demands a presence, and she is a scene stealer as well. With Margot Robbie in this movie as Harley Quinn, it feels like when she's in her own scenes, it feels like this is her own movie at times. Like it kind of takes away from the overall team, and I think it's because she's such a strong character. I think, and this is just my opinion, I think they should kind of get rid of Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad, and she can do her own thing because she's great. Like I enjoyed the Emancipation of Harley Quinn or whatever that movie was called. It's a long old name.
Birds of Prey.
Thank you. I thought she did great in that movie, but you can kind of see that definitely these characters are a little better without her. That's why they kind of capture her, and then we'll get into it. But I just wanted to kind of say that.
Yeah, I don't know. I would disagree. I think she's a good addition to the squad. I mean, yeah, but I know because even without her, I mean, Idris Elba, John Cena, the girl who plays Ratcatcher, which is I can't think of her name right now. I'll find it later. We got Sylvester Stallone as King Shark. Oh, her name's Daniela Melchior. And then, I think who's a standout is David Dastmalchian's Polka Dot Man, which we'll talk more about too. I think he was a real standout character for this movie.
Definitely did.
But yeah, everyone, we show everyone on the beach, and the first one to die is Weasel, so he can't swim. But then everyone just pretty much just gets taken out. Like everyone in that first team is just gone. Like I was just like, when I was watching them, oh shit, I'm like, I didn't know it was gonna happen this fast. But then when it showed it went to a flashback, I'm like, okay, maybe they're gonna show them more, but I was wrong.
It's crazy. I expected a lot of them to die, but I didn't expect some of the people that were there to die. Like when we discussed Michael Rooker's character, Savants, right? I thought he was gonna be throughout the whole movie, and I know he wasn't a lot much in the trailers. When you see the trailers, they kind of spoils it. But I think I didn't watch enough of them. After watching 2 of them, I'm I'm done. I'm not watching any more clips or anything like that. I want to watch the movie fresh. So I thought he wasn't gonna die, and then when he dies, I was just dude, what? And then like, and then the little bird that, like the exact one that like, he ends up killing in the beginning starts picking at his brain, right?
Yeah, and then the way he dies is he abandons the mission because he's scared, and like it's just like it's funny because like this whole time he's giving this like presence, like I don't give a fuck, I don't give, he's like really just strong presence, and he takes off, screaming like a little girl, swims away, and then she blows Amanda Waller because she has access to blowing everybody's heads up through a chip, and kills him. So that's the end of old Savant and a bunch of the team. I was surprised to see Captain Boomerang go. I thought he was going to be a little more in the movie. I wonder what happened there. I don't know.
Yeah, no, same. I mean, maybe he was too strong of a character and would have taken a little bit more away from like Peacemaker and
maybe they were trying to establish the more new characters rather than relying back on the old ones from the original Suicide Squad.
It's interesting because there's this weird juxtaposition where us as viewers and in the movie, right? Like these are supervillains. Like they're bad people. They do bad things, and yet we feel bad that they're dying. Because we like these characters and the way they are in that moment, amongst each other, right? But they're bad people.
I don't think it's more the characters. I think it's like the actors portraying them. Like Nathan Fillion, he's everyone like a lot of people love that guy. Like I was like, oh man, he's dead. Like, but it's funny.
Yeah.
He's the detachable kid. Like,
oh yeah,
and then, Michael Rooker. Michael Rooker's badass. So like the other characters, I didn't really know too much. I mean, as far as actors wise, but yeah. I mean,
dude, I didn't even like when I saw the weasel, I was like, oh, this is weird and creepy. But when it was drowning, I felt bad for it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. Oh, I kind of wanted to see more of it.
Like, I wanted to see what he did. I honestly thought that he was going to, like, run towards the beach and, like, do some crazy stuff.
At least, like, see it kill somebody.
Yeah, exactly. I was excited to see what Michael Rooker was going to do. And the Javelin dude. And they obviously, they didn't. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, and the crazy Mongol girl who jumps on the helicopter, she's like, I will do it, and just freaking like
that was pretty funny.
She did pretty badass though. I mean,
she's like,
I'll give her that. Not like the detachable kid with his arms slapping everybody, which is sweet though, by the way. And then so it's revealed that there's a second team, which is portrayed by the central cast, which is King Shark, Ratcatcher 2, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and Polka Dot Man. Everyone dies except for Harley Quinn and Rick Flag. Rick Flag is shown getting captured and goes a different way, gets captured, and then Harley Quinn gets captured. So we get a little flashback of like her recruiting like Bloodsport and all that team, which is a pretty funny. You get a little introduction to the characters right there. It was interesting. My girlfriend brought up the whole Bloodsport daughter dynamic wasn't really necessary. She felt like, but then again, like it was to move him to continue with the team.
You felt that it was, or
well, I did.
It
my girlfriend mentioned she's like, that was kind of pointless to have her in there. But I'm like, yeah, but I mean, then again, like that was the way he got to get on the team, right? Like that's the way that he got convinced. So they needed her in a sense. But I mean, I guess they didn't really need to show her.
Yeah,
but, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it.
I mean, you're right, but she's right as well. Like I didn't care for it. I think they were trying to give that dynamic of that Will Smith and his daughter had in Suicide Squad. Sorry. And they probably tried to do something like that, but it kind of fell short a little bit. But then there was these like little moments because obviously when you're talking about when Idris Elba is talking to Ratcatcher 2, there's that little like parent talk that they're kind of having, and then you kind of get that the reasoning behind why he is a bad father because his father was. Yeah. And he never broke the cycle, so
exactly
it makes sense. But then you're just like, I felt that it did fall a little short, and I think maybe because we didn't have enough time with the character to really build on them.
True, but I mean, so like you said, Ratcatcher's kind of like that surrogate daughter in a way, and she's definitely the heart of the film. I want to say.
I thought it was Sebastian, the little rat.
Oh, he was cute. He was trying to shake his hand. He's like, I'm not shaking hands, rat. But yeah, I really enjoyed her character. She played it super well. And then you get John Cena's Peacemaker, which is he was a very interesting character as well. Who's getting his own show, by the way, if you don't know that. With James Gunn, he's taking the helm as well. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen there. I would have preferred maybe someone else get their own kind of spinoff. Like you had mentioned, Bloodsport maybe getting a spinoff would have been pretty cool. But I just love Idris Elba. He's such a badass actor.
He's awesome. Yeah, I think I like him in a lot of stuff. Like, but going back to Peacemaker, I remember seeing. I remember being kind of excited for the character because when they introduce him, John Cena speaks on it, right? And they tell him you're gonna be a douchey Captain America. And then like you're gonna do whatever it takes to get things done for freedom or for like that's his character, and he goes off of that so freaking well, dude. It's hilarious.
It's so funny, like John Cena's evolution, huh? Like he's just like he started as just a little wrestler, and now he's just all the way up, and like he's pretty big. He's a big name. Like I think
he's like The Rock. Yeah, he's like The Rock.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting to see the development of these like wrestlers because like it started with like I want to say it did, but like Roddy Piper with like They Live. I forget the movie it's called, but him and then Hulk Hogan when he did like the nanny. I don't know if you've ever seen those. But they're very old, but they're good in their own right. When
Arnold Schwarzenegger in a way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like it's like those movies at the time. So I'm glad that they they're entertainers first and foremost, and that comes out in these movies. Like you can see that they're just comfortable with whatever they play. So
yeah, whatever they're given. So yeah, and then we get brought to this pretty comical scene, I think, where they're invading this camp to find Rick Flag, and they're killing everyone. And it's funny because Peacemaker and Bloodsport are like competing with each other because they don't like each other, and they're just you can just tell they're showing off. You see King Shark eating some people, which is pretty nasty. But then it's revealed that then you see a little bit of Pokemon Man. He reveals for the first time that in order to like fight through people, he just pretends it's his mother. And we're going to learn why. Let's talk about that because his problem, he hates his mom for conducting experiments on them, trying to turn him into a superhero. And that's how he became this polka dot man. And what about the suite when we first introduced to him, Sean Gunn's brother? He's all, hey, Pokemon Man. He's I want you to play at my kid's birthday party. He's a pussy. And it's funny because he's Calendar Man. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that the first
because he has a little thing in here.
Yeah, which Calendar Man is a villain in like the Batman universe.
Yeah, he has a. Sorry, I didn't say it for the audio listeners. He has like
the months tattoo on his head.
On his head.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, I don't know much history on the character, but from playing the games, like he just kills on particular months. I guess I don't know. He's super obsessed with the months and dates.
With dates and stuff. Hey, yeah, he's a cool character.
He's a dark character.
Yeah, he's not cool, but he's I guess in the sense of like the story that they give you. Because I think we played Batman, Arkham Knight, or Arkham Origin.
All those games, and you kind of learn more about it. He wasn't really in it; he was just kind of like subtle in it.
Yeah, but it was cool when you got to go see him for the dates and stuff. That was neat. But that's neither here nor there.
So if you aren't a calendar, technically you're a calendar man or woman. So yeah, but Pokemon Man, you see his little bit of his power, which he literally throws polka dots at people. So we learned that the whole squad just killed the what are they called? The freedom fighters. Because you see the leader talking with Rick Flag. She's like, "Where's my crew?" And they're like, we didn't see anybody." So, but they killed everyone, and it's super funny. Like it just that they did all that.
Yeah, I want to go back to Polka Dot Man because I was sorry before we move on. Just to get a little info about him. I guess his mother, the reason he kind of sees her, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. It's because his mother used to work at Star Labs, and she would experiment on him and his siblings, and to try to turn them into like superheroes.
I said that already.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you?
I didn't say the Star Labs part though.
No. But yeah, so I wanted to say, but I guess like one of the things that we didn't really discuss is that I think she was experimenting with the mother box. That's why they have that interdimensional virus.
Oh, yes.
That ends up there. So that's why I wanted to say. I know you did. I just wanted to get into a little bit more.
I was like, huh?
You're like, wait, I just talked about that.
Little tidbit.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then they're all, everyone's all together, and now Harley Quinn's in her own separate thing, which I didn't really care for her. Like, I mean, this part of the story I didn't really care for, but even though like you were mentioning, like, oh, they could have done without the Harley Quinn character, but the whole her with that guy, if I forget his name, he's like
he's like the next president kind of or whatever because he overtakes whatever. Yeah.
And Jotunheim.
I feel like you really don't need to talk about those characters, but
Yeah, I mean, so
yeah,
basically, they fall in love. They have a pretty funny scene though, like of them, like her falling in love with him, but then she ends up killing him too because remember she's like, oh, I know about toxic and I know red flags and I see it, and she's referencing obviously the Joker if you don't know the history of Harley, um, which I thought was a pretty cool like add in though, like how she
yeah,
mentions that.
she's kind of evolved as a character, and
Yeah,
you
she's
can kind of
definitely
see that.
evolved.
Yeah, but you're right, dude. You didn't need that scene, and it's funny because she goes through that whole murder spree and kind of escapes herself, and then what you're not seeing is that these other characters are trying to like find a way to get to her, so
Trying
they
to save her.
trying to save her, and
What that scene though is
yeah,
a really badass scene. I really enjoyed that whole scene where she was
when
escaping.
oh yeah, dude, it's so beautifully
It's such a
shot,
great scene, and the
and then
sweet
like
little
all
song.
the butterflies or whatever that's coming.
Nobody, yeah. And I guess that scene where she opens the lock with her feet was really her doing that,
Yeah, yeah,
which
that's freaking
is pretty
awesome.
crazy. So if you ever lock her up, she gonna get out. She gonna
Yeah,
kill you.
there's another thing too. We'll get into, but I'd rather bring it out now. She actually had to learn how to hold her breath for like 5 minutes or so. Like in real, like that's actually her holding her breath. Like she got trained by a marine or something.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool because like I guess she like tells you about it. She's like, oh yeah, they taught me how to do it, and they taught you what to do when because when obviously if you held your breath underwater for a while, you start to kind of like convulse a little bit because you're like kind of like your body is react like I guess they taught her how to like control that, and I was like, that's freaking crazy that she went all out just to go do that.
Yeah, the lane some of these people take. Peacemaker actually sucked a bunch of dicks to save the island.
To save the island.
Yeah, that's a cool little fact. But yeah, her whole scene, like that part was badass. And like you said, they're trying to save her, but it didn't really work out that well because she got him. But before that, they had to get into this place. The whole mission is to get in this place called Jotunheim for a project called Project Starfish, which is Starro, which is a character.
Wait, does that not mean butthole? John Cena.
Cena. So yeah, so they have to go to like this club to find this guy called the Thinker, which I didn't really care for the Thinker too much. He was kind of like he wasn't you know what I mean? Like the only thing about him was the whole stuff coming out of his head was pretty much his only appeal. Like he could have just been a regular ass dude. Why did he? I know they're trying to take a comic book character, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, but I mean, it's just to move the story along. A lot of the characters are to move it along. You know what I mean? Just like we talked about the Idris Elba character and the daughter. It's just like these little things to kind of move it along. But I guess you can kind of see like, they could have done something different. But maybe this was just, what he wanted and ways to have like these obscure characters that are never used in anywhere else.
Exactly, what he wanted to do, bring light to these characters.
Yeah.
Like Polka Dot Man's like everyone's like, yeah, we love Polka Dot Man. But yeah, he like the club scene is great. I think it's great. But they have a sweet little moment before where they're like on their way and they're like, poor King Shark in the back is I get mustache or some stuff like this fake mustache to like sneak in because obviously they're very like, what the hell is this? But I love the club scene. They all have a drink and they have that sweet little song. It's like, I can't sleep. I got to stay awake. And that
everybody's dancing.
The Polka Dot Man, all the moms are in the club with him dancing. Dude, that part
it's his mom.
was sweet. I was like, dude, this guy's twisted. James Gunn, he's a twisted son.
Dude, I'm surprised that like there's not more memes of the Polka Dot Man and his mom. Like, there's not like this thing. I haven't seen any.
I've seen a little bit, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I feel you.
I feel like it's so funny. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on the movie. I think I haven't really heard like this. Like I know a lot of people have like talked about it, but I don't feel like it has this like big presence on social media that I've seen. So at least maybe I'm on the wrong spots, or
Maybe, or maybe we just haven't talked about it with enough people yet. I mean, I'm sure people have seen it because it's streaming. You could stream it,
Yeah,
so.
Super easy to like. The price of admission is very easy. Like either you get that free HBO Max trial or you pay $10 a month or whatever.
Exactly. But yeah, dude. I mean, that's a sweet ass scene. That's when they see the Thinker who goes to this club and they capture him, and that's when they take him. And they decide, he pretty much has to take him to Jotunheim, and they're trying to get this information out of him. I think that's before they get Harley Quinn, if I'm not mistaken. Pig, Lees, and Bacon. But no, yeah. So that's way before. so once they're all reunited, Harley Quinn, but that whole scene is sweet because you got King Shark is all bird.
He's all what's his name? Maui or whatever.
Nawe or something.
No. He's all stay off the comms. And he's all bird.
And I'm gonna say it may be controversial, but I think King Shark is DC's answer to Groot.
Yeah. No.
I don't know. Shut it off now if you don't agree with me. Let's get
So you're telling me they should kill...
Sound off in the comments.
I guess spoiler alert. You're telling me they should kill King Shark so he can be a baby shark.
And then that's it. And they can make the Baby Shark the movie.
We're in. James Gunn, you can hire us for...
the sequel.
Wait, I want to say something because I do like the little names. Because obviously... Ratcatcher, they're trying to stay on the comms and try to be secretive, but they call Ratcatcher, they call her Ratatouille. Dude, that made me laugh so hard. I was like, this is so silly.
Yeah, but it's cute because Harley Quinn's like, you guys are trying to save me. I could go back inside if you like.
I want to talk about that scene because it got spoiled for me a little bit because they used to show it on the trailer a lot, in some of the clip or whatever. Oh,
just that scene where they said they get, it was in the beginning trailer. But you don't know what happened before.
No, you don't know the context of
miraculous escape.
But you just remember, you're just like, oh man. I was like, they kind of that's when trailers show too much, right?
Yeah, that's the worst part. But we love them still. We'll watch them.
Definitely agreed.
Trailers always make the hype real, especially when you see it in a theater. You're like, ah.
That's true. I think I got sold on this movie more when I saw the trailer on the big screen. I was like, damn, yeah. I was like, the Suicide Squad.
That's sweet. So yeah, they go to Jotunheim. That's all freaking. It's Rick Flag, so he just says it. They get in there. They all, they have this sweet little plan. They're planning bombs and all this stuff, and it's cute because it shows King Shark going to see all the little fishes, but then they end up being bad little fishes.
Yeah, they start attacking him. Oh!
I know, it's freaking sweet. But
I like that little scene. He's because he's in that moment he feels like he's innocent. He doesn't know any better, and then he's running with them on the little aquarium.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
He can be vicious when he wants to, but when it becomes time to calm down, he's like, I like this.
Yeah. It's funny because later on when we see Starro, that they're trying to hit him, but they're just coming off his face. I just wanted to say that because it's really funny. But
it is sweet. No, you know what? I want to mention another character that we didn't talk about. The bus driver. Milton,
dude.
Oh, it's so hilarious because he's in it for a while. He's with them for a bit, and I remember in the theater we see them all running into Jotunheim, and I'm all, is that Milton? That freaking bus driver? And he's wearing these sweet little chanclas. He's all,
yeah.
And then he ends up dying, and then they're like, oh, Milton, Polka Dot Man's all, poor Milton, and Harley Quinn's all, who's Milton? He's like, the guy who's been with us. She's like, if I knew there was a Milton, I would have known, And it's funny because she goes, oh, Milton.
And then later on, she thinks that Polka Dot Man is Milton.
No, she thinks Bloodsport.
Oh, what's it? One of them she thinks.
Mine's not Bloodsport. Oh, yeah.
That was freaking hilarious, dude.
But yeah, that
was funny. No, you're fine. It's funny because that it's those little things that James Gunn adds to the movie that really stand out for someone that's really paying attention
adds to the characters. Yeah,
exactly. And it just makes the overall turnout just that much better, right? When he dies, like you said, we see him throughout these whole scenes, and then we're like, well, he died. How is this gonna affect the crew? And it does. Polka Dot Man's oh no,
he's all sad. He's like, oh, he was the only one that bought. He's like, he was been with us the whole time. How did you guys not know?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we have everyone's on their separate little team. I think it's Ratcatcher, Harley Quinn, Polka Dot Man, and who am I missing? Milton,
Peacemaker.
Bloodsport. They're together. No, because
no, not together. I thought you meant
the opposite. I meant the opposite because remember they get split up, and Peacemaker, Ratcatcher. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Peacemaker, Ratcatcher, and Rick Flag and King Shark are one squad, but King Shark wanders off. And
he makes that little like claim or a little
clay
bomb.
piece.
A little clay.
Oh yeah.
He's all,
that looks nothing like me.
He's all, but thank you or something.
he's all yeah. But yeah, then like they go down, we see the starfish, which is the stuff they're doing is pretty creepy. Like the whole like little starfishes on people's face is pretty intense. Like I was like,
yeah,
God
it's kind
damn,
of gross. Yeah, it's crazy. And
but
then
he's like doing mind control with these people.
Yeah, and then you find out that the Thinker is actually like kind of raping them as well.
Yeah,
like there's like that little moment of him saying that, and you're just like,
yeah, it's a little weird. They
That's
call
kinda
him
weird.
the Thinker.
Oh.
Yeah, but then he ends up getting killed anyway, which is a pretty disgusting death. I'm like, oh man, he got thunk. But the whole
Who'd have thunk it? You know what I mean?
But then the whole plot of Viola Davis's Amanda Waller is revealed there. She wants to pretty much destroy this evidence. No. Yeah, she wants this evidence destroyed. So
because they were working with the U.S. government. Because
they were working with the U.S. and they don't want that to come out. And it's revealed that Peacemaker already knew about that. And he was sent to do this. But Rick Flag, he has his pride. He's like, no. He's like, the world needs to see this. Like, he pretty much F you, Amanda Waller. And he's the only one that doesn't have the chip in him because, he's not a bad dude. So that's when they have an intense fight. And then which is a pretty cool fight, too. The whole, like, how he's filming off the helmet, like, is pretty sick. Like, the cinematography is just pretty cool in this movie.
Oh, yeah, dude, I love that scene. And he tells you how he shot it through a tweet. Someone asked him. And it's pretty cool because, like, it's just so beautifully shot. And the way the characters are behind everything that's happening, it's dope, dude. Like, I thought this was a great fight scene. I think not a lot of people talk about it, but and
the stakes were high because just like you're like if I want both of them to win. You know what I mean? I like both these characters. I mean, I mean Peacemaker's revealed he's a douchebag, but we already knew that. And Rick Flag, like he's trying to do the right thing, and then I like Rick Flag.
Yeah, so I think I liked Rick Flag a lot more in this movie, and like
Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I think in the last movie I really didn't care for him, but in this movie he was just such a well-written character. Like you sympathize with him a lot more because now he's like someone there that's he's there because he has to be kind of thing. He actually cares about these people, and it shows that dynamic between them again. And I think this is what I was gonna say. Sorry, a little rant here. But I would have loved for these characters to have been in the first one. I think if they would have moved on to the second one, they would have been more rapport between them, and there would have been like, there would have been just more to them. I think overall, but I get why they're always different every time. But that's just my opinion because I like the characters.
I'm gonna call you Rant Catcher too.
I like that.
No, yeah, I
Ratatouille.
That's a better one. No, I agree with you. But yeah, so like Ratcatcher's trying to escape too because Starro, she's been released pretty much as escaping, and even her, it's like no, don't die, and like so Peacemaker ends up winning the fight. You think he's actually gonna lose, but then Rick Flag gets stabbed with like the toilet thing, one of the toilet like piece of the toilet, and he goes out like a badass. He's like Peacemaker, what a fucking joke, is what he said, and he dies, and so. That's when Peacemaker chases Ratcatcher because now she knows his secret, and they get to this point where he's about to shoot her, and then that's when it flashes to like it goes back like 8 or 7 minutes before and shows like the Bloodsport team doing their thing, which includes what we talked about where Milton dies, all this stuff, and then like King Shark, like all that glass ends up breaking and they're underwater and stuff, and somehow I forget, the whole building's falling to crap, and that's when Bloodsport falls through like the building. And ends up landing right in front of Peacemaker right before he's about to shoot Ratcatcher, which then, Bloodsport don't like it. They have a little shoot off, which is a sweet little like kind of Matrix like throwback in a way, I think, with the bullets that end up killing. And I am doing what is it called?
Quotes.
Air quotes, killing Peacemaker because as we know, he has his own show. And spoiler alert, he's not really dead. And credits reveal he's alive still.
I want to ask you this question before we move on. What did you think about the time lapses between the scenes, like them going back and forward?
The way they kind of did it too, like he would like use like the environment, like in the beginning he puts like Savant's blood saying like Warner Brothers presents, and then like the fires like Operation Harley, like it. I think it worked well. I think it worked good because like it would have been more confusing if they showed like, okay, like here's a little bit of these guys. Okay, let's go to these guys now. All right, now let's go back to these guys. And it wasn't like frustrating enough or like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like we're gonna go back like 30 minutes. So it's not like, oh crap, what happened there? You know, it was only like 7 something minutes. And initially I thought Bloodsport was gonna land on Peacemaker. That's how it was gonna happen, but I was wrong. What about you? What do you think about the time things?
I liked it too. It didn't bother me or anything. Like I thought it went well. It was very reminiscent of Pulp Fiction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with time. Like I would have had a problem if it was like it was just a dream. You know, some shit like that. You know, that's the things I don't like. But you know,
never mind. I was about to spoil Twilight for you. Never mind.
Oh,
you haven't even seen those movies.
No, my favorite movie in the world. Spoiled.
No, but yeah, so like I said, I enjoyed them. I didn't think there was nothing of it, but the reason I brought it up because there was people that actually really disliked that he did that, and I was like, there's a reasoning behind this type of filming. Like you don't want to kind of like show too much of like, okay, we're here. You know, he wanted to kind of have these moments that were very like. It made the story go further, right? You didn't want to make the story go back and, or go forward, but really slowly. And I like that he did that because, we just had this great scene of a fight and it's like, oh my God, now take me back and let me relax and let me show me the other side. I enjoyed that. I thought it was great. I thought it
wouldn't have been good if we didn't care for like some of the team, you know what I mean? Like we didn't care for the other team, but we cared for both. So it's like, they gave us enough time to develop a love for these characters. But it's funny, like they say that, but like watch like Endgame and Infinity, like Marvel movies, like they rely on that crap. like that, like that's whole Endgame's whole thing is a whole time reverse. I mean, it's done well. I think it's just depend how it's done. And like,
and I think he did it well. Like I honestly think that I couldn't. I mean, we're not filmmakers, right? But we're avid watchers of movies. And I know only that one film we did where the Lego stop animation we did once. but you get what I'm saying. Like this is what we enjoyed, and I thought it was great. Like I don't see any. There's no reason for me to be like, no, like he could have done better here. Like, yeah, possibly, but I thought it went well.
7 minutes, really? Why not 6? Like, what could have been a little less time, right? I'm kidding.
Yeah, something, but it was cool, dude. I like the way that Bloodsport came in, and I thought the same thing, dude. I thought he was gonna land on him too, bro.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
I wasn't the only one. It just made more sense that way.
Yeah, it did a little bit. I was just like, wait, what?
But then I thought too, like, oh, he's gonna come back later because he has his own show. But also going back to that time lapse thing. I like that, and I mean, I didn't do my research on this, but I'm assuming it's correct. It's like the actual time, like real time in the movie. When movies say like 5 minutes, but then they're showing like 20 minutes of something going on. That's how now it says 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, but he's actually doing real time, which I like. That I can appreciate. That makes sense.
It didn't feel it didn't feel overdrawn either. Like it was too much.
No, not at all. No, it was good. Sorry.
No. Wait, no.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. So now we're just left with Bloodsport, Ratcatcher, King Shark, Harley Quinn, and Polka Dot Man are remaining of the crew. They get out and they're surrounded. They start shooting at King Shark, which I thought he was going to die at that point, but I got sad. But then no, he eats
the bullets bounce off.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that scene where when it's raining and he rips the guy in half. That was a really good shot.
So cool, dude.
That was a
great
cool shot.
Dude, I love that scene with the rain and and then like Bloodsport goes
and
like,
the Pixies is playing.
He's like, we'll use the rain to cover all ground. I don't know what he says. Something like really sweet, like Idris Elba. Sorry, I didn't do the voice justice, but
sounds just like him. I thought he was here.
And then they do like that Reservoir Dogs like slow mo walk.
Yeah,
and it's really cool. I was like, damn, that's awesome.
I like that a lot. I like that song too. I love that song.
What do you think about before we move on, because we're talking about the music now, but what did you think about the soundtrack, dude?
Soundtrack. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna take it all to the beginning. It's the part where they do the song. It goes, all the people who died. That song.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I liked it a lot. Then I have that song on my playlist now for Spotify.
That's awesome.
But it's funny because I was talking to my girlfriend. She's like, yeah. I was talking to some people at work, and they said like they didn't really like that. They like that whole part was like, oh, like at that point they're like, I don't think I'm gonna like this movie, which they ended up liking the movie, but that part for some reason didn't settle right for them. But I liked it. I really enjoyed that scene. Yeah, and as far as the rest of the music was really good. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was gonna say, I think it's because we kind of knew that this was gonna happen, right? Like we've seen the original movie, and like we know all these. Like I think when me and you had we had talked about this movie before it even came out, and before we even saw it, we're like, who's gonna be the next Slipknot? You remember that? Like we were like talking about that, and I'm like, it's because we know that some of these characters are gonna die.
Slipknot, not the band. He's referring to the Suicide Squad movie, which there's a character named Slipknot who they show. And like again, they show him make him look like a badass. He tries to escape, blown up instantly. So it's just a dumb, funny joke.
Yeah, there's like that movie where, and then like he like punches a woman, and you're like, okay, I don't like him. He's punched a woman, and then he tries to escape, and then poof, he dies.
And he plays with the band Slipknot.
Yeah, and he has this sweet like hair, and he's dumb, but he was a dumb character.
But I really like the music fit well. I mean, the club music, anyway, I gotta stick, all sweet, and then then they have the scene, like right now we're talking about the Pixies. I love that song. So right now they're right there. They got me. I was like, oh, you got me. I love that song.
Yeah. Great song, dude. Great. If you ask me, dude, yes, definitely I enjoyed it. I thought the song in the beginning was awesome as well.
I wasn't gonna ask.
Well,
I'm kidding. No, okay.
Thank you for not. But let me interrupt you then. I'm just kidding. Yeah, but I thought it was awesome. Like I really enjoyed the music. It wasn't Guardians of the Galaxy level great. But it was good for this type of movie.
I mean, we compare it to that, but we shouldn't. But just because the same director, I think, is why we're doing it. And but he's known for using like that music, like cool ass.
See, and I'm not comparing it because it is the same director. I'm comparing it because of the style of movie. It's about a crew that we don't know. You know what I mean?
A band of misfits.
And then I love that they implemented the music into this. I don't, obviously it's not gonna have the same resonance because, with Guardians of the Galaxy, Peter Quill had, it was given the cassette from his mother and all that. And with this one, it's just there for, added flair, I guess.
Yes.
But yeah.
No, yeah, it's a great soundtrack. So let's get back to where we were. They're outside. And they're confronted by all these soldiers, but then all the little mini starfishes come out and it start attacking everybody. Our heroes end up not getting attacked, and like you said, King Shark, they're all going on his face and they just keep falling off. He's like, oh. So that's when they all start communicating. Like Starro communicates with the squad, saying what he's going to do basically, and goes off to do his thing, and like. They start to walk away, but Ratcatcher's like, no, we should help them. And that's when Bloodsport's like, all right, let's help them. And Amanda Waller's like, no, you guys, that wasn't the mission. Like, you need to get your stuff.
She says it like, turn around, Bloodsport, or whatever.
I know, she's like,
she's very off, like,
2 years off your sentence.
She's very like she's in a play. Like very over the top at sometimes, like
oh yeah, she's a little crazy.
You better turn around, like she adds that to it.
I'm kidding.
And then they exactly like that. And then they freaking one of the crew that's working with her, kind of like I think it was like some girl.
They start
she
to
hits him over the back of the head, yeah.
Because they're all like
she nails her.
They don't want that to happen. They're like, and she was already threatening to kill Bloodsport's daughter, and that they didn't like that too. So. Oh, we didn't even mention like how that whole crew's a little funny too. Like they're all betting on who's gonna die and stuff, which is funny.
That's true. Yeah.
So yeah, like they end up turning around and they knock out Waller and they tie her up. So they help them with their mission. So this one they have the big climactic battle, which is sweet. Everyone's getting down, everyone's doing their part, and Bloodsport has his little hero talk, and he tells Polka Dot Man, he's like, that's not a monster, that's your fucking mom, and he's just seeing her all big. She's like, ah! so funny, and he unleashes his polka dots, which does a good job what he's doing, and he looks at he's like, I'm a fucking superhero. He's all happy, and then he smashed and he dies, which was sad. I didn't want him to die.
Dude, I thought he was gonna
I thought he was gonna like live again to tell the tale, but yeah, it was a good way to die though. Like, and he did his part, and he did a great job.
I think overall that character, like that moment was like where he realized who he wanted to be, right? I think like it just kind of ends for him the best way it could have. Well, he's a bad person. Yeah. We don't know what happened to him. Obviously, we know
he had even said,
right?
I don't like to kill people. I just pretend they're my mom though if I have to. So like we don't really know why he's in prison, maybe because he just wasn't able to control his polka dots, and like when he, when it shows him trying to get rid of his swollen face because all the polka dots start building up, he has to throw them up or something like that. Maybe it killed somebody, or like the ricochet. That's probably why.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're probably right. Yeah, that's a good observation.
Thank you. So yeah, they end up defeating. They defeat. You know what? It's cute. King Shark's cute when he looks at the starfish. I love his little shorts, dude. Those things are sweet. Like,
oh yeah, I actually made some.
Oh shit. But yeah, he King Shark, Harley, Ratcatcher, and Bloodsport are the survivors. They end up defeating Starro, the starfish. What do you think about the starfish?
I didn't.
Did you think he was a motherfucking star boy? No, I'm kidding.
I didn't really care for the villain. I thought it was like whatever, but it's like I don't know who else you would put these like team up against. Yeah, I think if anything, like a lot of people would want to see them like be against like Superman or like the DC kind of like like the superheroes.
But like you said, he's taking those characters that no one really knows about, like, and they're so obscure of these characters, like a starfish. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, Starro's a cool character. Like I've seen him. He comes out in like a lot of. I think I've read a comic and also seen a cartoon with that character, and he takes over all the superheroes. Like he takes over Superman's face, and like he starts controlling everyone. I think the only one that's alive, I think, might be Batman. That's not controlled.
Of course,
but he was a. Yeah, but he's a cool character, and like I like what they did, but I think I would have liked more of him. I think they only used him in the last act, and that was it. There wasn't enough of that character. I would have liked him to be built up, as this really big thing. But it was more about these other characters that didn't really matter at the end, right? Because I guess you don't know. It's that misdirection again. Obviously, we saw the trailer, so it's like you kind of know that he's going to come out.
But he wasn't really even advertised that much, really, either.
No,
like he wasn't.
Just a little bit, right? Like they just kind of show, and this is like the big character. Definitely way better villain than the one in Suicide Squad, right?
Enchantress.
She's
all,
all seductive or whatever she does. I thought she was a cool character. I just thought the story was kind of like weird for her overall. But
yeah, I think I would say for this movie. There wasn't really a villain. You know what I mean? If I was to really pinpoint a villain, it'd be Amanda Waller. But even then, she wasn't. There was no. They didn't put her up to fight against anybody because obviously she would lose. So yeah, like you said, it's because even like you thought, the what do they call it? The Libertad or whatever, the next president, they were shown like going to be the villains pretty much because they were trying to take over this Project Starfish, but they kind of weren't. They were just kind of like the side villain. And I thought the Thinker was going to be amazing. I know, it's like they're like spread out. You know what I mean? And already the characters are all villains as it is. So
yeah, I think you're right. I think they're all pretty bad. I think we just like you said. I think we like the actors a little bit more than the characters themselves, at least how they portray them. But yeah, dude, all villains. Like there is no really good thing about them, honestly. Like freaking, he saves his daughter, but he's a freaking hired gun. He murders people for money. He's not a good person. So it's interesting. Like, and then like Harley Quinn is really bad, bro. She was with like Joker when they massacred people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just
like she developed more to like that hero kind of role.
Like the anti-hero. That's like the new thing of like everything now.
Well, like
MCU and DC now, it's like more prominent, at least in the movies. Like Loki is like an anti-hero. Venom.
Deadpool.
Deadpool. Like, but they're all bad people. But now like everyone loves that they're evil or were, and now they're not. I don't. It's this thing.
Yeah,
now.
it's an interesting thing. But yeah, they end up. That's it. They end up. They end up going home or back to jail. I forget. But yeah, you see like the daughter, she's like, that's my dad. And like everyone's all like, yeah, this is that squad. They're the best. And then at the end you hear, no, I'm kidding. Not the Joker. He doesn't come out. He doesn't come out. But yeah, then so the movie's, the movie ends and we get 2 end credit scenes, which I mentioned, which Peacemaker you see is still alive, and Stupid Weasel, which is still alive too. You see him running off on the beach. He managed to survive somehow. So maybe we'll see a little more of him. I probably don't think so. But yeah, he's alive. So that's the Suicide Squad. Ernie, what you think of this movie? What do you give it overall?
I think this one is so.
Oh,
I
you know what? I'm
think
sorry. Can
even
I
though
can
with
I
our
can
new
I say a
rating,
quick
go
little
ahead.
thing?
Yeah, go
Um,
ahead.
the end battle with Ratcatcher. She has her little flashback with her dad, which is played by Taki Waiti. I can never say his name, dude. And she's like, "Why rats, Papa?" He's all, "Rats are the lowest and most despised of all creatures, my love. But if they have a purpose, so do we all." Cute, cute, cute. Sorry, I just wanted to mention
Oh,
that.
no, no, you're fine, dude.
It's a
I'm glad
quote.
that you
We're
brought it up.
quotables.
Yeah,
It's good.
quotables, quotes. No, I'm glad you brought him up because I thought he was cool. There's a, like, I think, the surrogate daughter and all that we were kind of like talking about with Ratcatcher number two. I like that they added that little character and that was like a special. I think he was written into it because I think Taiki Waititi, I think that's how you say it, but I might be wrong. I think James Gunn had written a role for him, but he was busy with something else. Might have been Thor: Love and Thunder or whatever that new movie is gonna come out. So they got someone else, and so they wrote this in for him so he can be in the movie.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool. Like I like that they did that because what you don't find out until later is, or some point in the like the middle of the movie, Idris Elba is scared, terrified of rats because his father wanted him to be a perfectionist and would like if he would miss a shot or do something bad, he would put him in a box full with rats that were starving. And so Idris Elba built this dislike of rats. That's why he didn't want to shake Sebastian's hand and all that stuff. You kind of find that out, and then it goes into like Ratcatcher doing all that stuff. Um, but I like the way she used her power with like her little wand that her dad created, and she
Like
basically
sweet.
is the one that takes down the
It
star. I
looks
mean
like
the
those thing.
star.
It looks like those things at Disneyland, where they press the ball and the little things
They're
spin
like
around. It's
$15.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it looked like.
I know
Like,
exactly.
oh, that
Yeah.
thing's sweet.
So she does that, and like it's cool. But going back into the review of it myself, I would highly recommend you guys stream this movie. I think I'm glad that that's how I saw it. I don't think it's worth going to the movie theaters. I felt really comfortable being at home. Such a long movie. Don't get me wrong, going to the movie theaters is awesome. If I would have seen it like that, I would have probably recommended that to you guys. But I feel that this movie didn't need to be viewed in that sense. So I definitely I recommend you guys watch this. It's a really good movie. It has its faults here and there, but overall like I was entertained. And I was telling this last thing I want to say. I was telling this to Lex when I first saw it because one of the reasons I didn't want to do the review right when we saw it was because I saw this movie in the worst way. I saw it in like 5 parts because something always kept happening, it was like I tried to see it on Thursday like the day it came out like midnight. I freaking fell asleep, and then the next day I had to go to work. Saw it for a bit, and I fell asleep. It's like this whole like all these dumb things that happen, and I was like, "Damn, dude,
It's
I don't
funny.
like this. I don't like this movie." I was like, "Damn it."
It's funny.
Go
Is
ahead.
this movie came out pretty early on Thursday? It wasn't even till midnight. You know that, right?
No, I saw it midnight.
Oh, okay. You okay? Got it.
Yeah, because no, because I was waiting for my wife. She got off of work,
Oh,
so we
that's right.
saw
That's
it
right.
later.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
should have said that. Sorry. And then finally, I finished watching, and I was like, okay, I didn't really care for the movie. And then I saw it again, and I was like, dang, this movie was awesome. Like, I'm glad that now we're talking about it. Like I didn't do it justice the first viewing. So I mean, but now going into you, man, what did you think?
Well, mine was opposite. I saw it in the theaters that opening night Friday, and I think that was the way to go. I saw it in the Dolby Cinema. It was loud. It was like fun. Like I was like the theater was having a great time. I think like, it was people laughing. Um, Not a lot of people clap anymore, which is weird. I tried clapping at the end and nobody else clapped. But um, yeah, dude, I recommend this movie. I really enjoyed it. I really don't think you have to be a fan of like the DC universe just because the fact that it's not really the characters that we're used to, right? It's a whole group of a ragtag team of people that we don't know, and you can just kind of watch it on its own and like, oh, I liked it. Um, but it's weird getting back to like how I mentioned earlier, like the people I had asked are like, no, we prefer the old one before. I know, which I don't know why. Maybe it was just too crazy for them. But I mean, you also got to kind of get that little sense of humor, like that James Gunn always uses and stuff. So I love the misdirection. I like, because I didn't mind that like everyone pretty much died because at the same time, it's like, how is he going to balance a cast of like 20 people? You know what I mean? Like it's like, it's just no way. And everyone get their due. Like he was able to do it with like the people we had, which is like at least 10. Like did a great job. Everyone got their own little time to shine. They got their stories and all that stuff. So imagine plus that, it would have been a longer movie. But yeah, watch this movie. If it's not in the theaters, you can watch it streaming. I watch it streaming again as well. I still enjoying it. But yeah, man, it was a great movie. Check it out. You have anything else you kind of want to add, or any little fun facts?
No, I mean, there wasn't just a random little fact that I...
fat snacks?
I like that, dude. I'm actually pretty hungry, so I'm excited to eat after this. But did you see that Nathan Fillion had a thing where they were trying to make a city called after his name or something like that?
I did see that.
Yeah, it was like something, and like so everyone like got on Twitter like, I don't know really much about it, but if it's Nathan Fillion, he deserves it. Like it was like this whole thing.
Is so funny. Like he's just like a beloved like actor. Like
yeah, it's from what I've heard, he's like a really nice guy, dude. He's a really great guy.
Like
yeah, dude. He seems like a... I think me and Lex really loved him in that little random Uncharted clip movie that they made. Remember that with Stephen Lang?
Yeah, because if you guys don't know, the game Uncharted, he's the voice for the main character, which is Nathan Drake. And everyone was trying to, they are doing an Uncharted movie starring Tom Holland, which is the current Spider-Man. But everyone's like, no, bring Nathan Fillion. Because he looks like... I mean, no, wait, I'm sorry. Nathan Fillion is not the voice for Nathan Drake. I'm sorry. I don't know why, but he looks just like him. And they wanted him to do the role. I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought that was weird.
No, you're fine. I thought the same thing because he does such a great job in that.
He does. And like he looks just like the character. And everyone was trying to get him to be the character. And
he acts like the character too. If you guys have not, definitely go check that out. Like I don't know what it's called. It's probably like Uncharted Nathan Fillion something. But go check that out, dude. And if you guys have played the game, like, dude, even better because you're gonna get that character from him. Like he does such a great job.
Which I'll be excited to see what they do with the Uncharted movie.
Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yes, that is our episode. Thank you so much for listening again. We're on the social medias. We're on YouTube, Quotables Cast. Look for us, comment, give us a shout out. Tell us, ask what kind of movie you guys want to hear next. If you want to hear a new movie, you want to hear an old movie, we're open to it all. So, Ernie, you got anything else for us?
No, just as always, I like to finish it off with thanking the fans. I do appreciate... that sounded weird. I don't like thanking fans. I don't even know. Maybe the audience, right? Fans just kind of sounds always weird to me. The listeners, thank you. I want to thank the listeners for tuning in every week. I know we didn't do one last week, so we fell short, but you're going to get 2 episodes coming up. So we do appreciate you guys listening. And as always, like you said, follow us on those social medias, and we'll definitely we're always there, talking. We're busy, but if you guys message us, we'll talk to you guys. Like, we love to hear feedback, and we love to hear what your thoughts are on movies. Like that's the thing about movies and why we love podcasting about movies is everyone watches movies. I don't think I've heard one person...
own opinions.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think... Well, actually, we do know one person that doesn't like movies, but she's on a different level of stuff. But you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people that, will reference movies and we'll talk about them, that's what we love, so...
Again, we are the Quotable Boys. I am Lex.
And I am Ernie.
Thank you for listening. Tune us out.
Have a good one, guys.